Okay, so I feel I feel inspired this morning, so I'm gonna speak about a few things. Predominantly, what is on my mind, what's kind of frustrating me in regards to, and I've seen this as a quote, and I've seen this in like my past life, um, of like you don't if your intuition tells you something about somebody or like your soul is telling you to move a certain direction, don't look back. Don't go back. It's like you don't go backwards in life. You make a decision and you move forward. And I feel like for me, that has manifested itself recently in regards to a certain like friendship dynamic, or not even a friendship, just something I got curious about and something I wanted to challenge myself within, which was to effort in the direction of a like a friendship or a dynamic that I I said to myself, hey, maybe I'm wrong, right? I had assumptions about this person. I had beliefs about this person that I said maybe my intuition was wrong, right? My intuition said you need to get away from this person as fast as possible, and you need to not be around them. You need to trust yourself and trust that you'll have other real friends and people in your life. And in regards to that, I challenged that and I said, no, like let me go in after some breathing room and see what still exists there. And by doing that, it really just confirmed to me, it confirmed to me big time how much my intuition was right. And just seeing this person like be on the defensive when there really was no reason to be on the defensive, and to hear just strong opinions. And I mean, I say all this because the lesson for me is, and lesson for anybody listening to this could be, if your intuition or like your core is telling you something about somebody, it's generally right. And especially if that's been tested with time and data and interactions that you've had, and that's been confirmed through certain things, you don't have to like go back and see if it's still true, or like test it out, or find out what's there. You already know what's there. And I feel like that's the biggest piece here, um, that is my reflection this morning, and what I learned last night was you generally know what is right about somebody based off of their actions and based off of the way that they treat you, and based off of um, how things go or how things don't go. So all of that to say, and within all of that, you know what to do. You have the strength, you have the fortitude, you have the desire, you have the willingness, you have the ability to move forward and um, to discern and to know what's right about certain situations. So my challenge for you today would be to trust that, and to trust that if you don't vibe with somebody or you don't get along with somebody, you can do what I did. You can say, man, maybe, which I think this is like the highest, uh, I think it's the most like evolved human level of dealing with something. It doesn't mean it's the right way of dealing with something. It's just, for me, I wanted to see if I was wrong, right? I made assumptions about this thing, about this person, and I said, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I can create space within me in this situation, and then I can come back into it with the fresh perspective and maybe learn something different. And I feel like that's a really wise thing to do. But in regards to this, a lot of times your first intuitive feeling or thinking about a person or a thing is can generally be correct. That's why we have that. That's why we have like, they call it like the gut instinct, or we have like the like the feeling of just like, man, I just don't like this person and I can't identify why. There's also this other person that I work with, who gets glowingly bad reviews in his job, and it's a really similar it's a really similar what's the word? It's a really similar review from everyone on the team that I work with in regards to like everyone feels the same way. It's just like that person has a weird vibe, or like that person, I can't get a read on that person. And I feel like when we can trust our guts about certain things and we can trust ourselves and not second guess our decisions, if your intuition is taking you a certain direction, I really believe that you have to trust it, and you have to say yes to it, and you have to never look back, and you have to believe that it's there for a reason. So my ultimate message today is that if you make a decision, if you have a gut instinct about a person, if you feel strongly about something and you feel intuitively and you look within yourself and you're like, that's my opinion of this, the best thing that you can do is to trust that and to go and to never look back. And I talk a lot about that, about making decisions and then going and making them very like consciously and very just making moves and standing on business within the confidence that you have. That's what I want you to do in regards to your relationships, in regards to decisions that you make, big decisions. And I'll talk about this in a future video, about how I picked a college to go to, which was very difficult for me in regards to I had this really indecisive nature when I was younger. I said, do I want to go here? Do I want to go here? And I would apply to all of these different schools. So in regards to all of that, make a decision and trust usually usually your initial feeling about somebody, your initial feeling about a situation is generally very right. And there's a reason for that. And you don't need to circle back or look back and say, was I wrong about this? Or like maybe I did something incorrect. Maybe I assessed it wrong. Maybe I didn't read it properly. I think you can run and you can try and think that way, but in regards to your life, the best thing that you can do for yourself is to trust your instincts, and you can trust your intuition about people, about jobs, about places, about groups, about things, about relationships. All of it is based off of the trust you have in your intuition. That's the most important thing that you'll ever do, and you'll ever navigate, and you'll ever like leverage within this life. So trust yourself and trust your first initial instinct about certain things.